morning. Welcome to ABC Yoga. I'm Amy, my husband Bill in the background, and we may see an occasional cat. So this morning, we're going to start actually with a breath opening posture. So first, coming on your back body, turning your palms up towards the sky. Let's just sip in a full inhalation. Open up the mouth and let it go. And we'll take one more breath in. And exhale the air out completely. And starting this morning with an awakening breath, let's take a hand on our belly and a hand on our chest. And it's going to be a three-part breath with a long exhalation out through your mouth. So on the first inhale, just breathe into the belly 1/3. Then breathe into the upper chest. And the last third, breathe all the way up to your shoulders. Open up the mouth, long exhalation. Again, we breathe into the belly, into the upper chest, all the way to the tips of the shoulders. Mouth opens, long exhale. Now breathe into the belly, hold for 2, 1, breathe into the upper chest, hold 2, 1, all the way to the tips of the shoulders. Breathe, hold 2, 1, long exhale. So one more just like that. We breathe into the belly, hold 2, 1, upper chest, hold for 2, 1. Now all the way to the tips of the shoulders, hold 2, 1, long exhale. Squeeze all the air out. Now seal your lips and just allow yourself to find that regular rhythmic breathing in and out through the nose. And we'll extend our hands up to the back of your mat, stretch out through the fingers, out through the toes. And then just shake everything out. And we're going to start with a banana pose. So you're going to take your right foot off your mat and cross your left ankle over the right ankle. Then your right hand is going to reach for your left wrist, and you're bending the side body, you're opening up the left side body, you're bending into that kind of crescent moon banana shaped posture, allowing that left shoulder to connect with the floor. Swallow. Breathing here. Taking 2 more breaths, so you're expanding. Breathing through those intercostal muscles. Let's take one more inhale. We exhale the air out completely, and then uncross your ankles, release the wrists, and just allow the hands to float towards the side of the body. And we'll try the other side. So again, banana posture, that left foot is going to come off the mat. We're crossing the right ankle on top of the left. You're reaching for the left hand towards the right wrist, and you're finding that crescent moon posture. Welcome, friends that have just joined. Nice to see you. So you're opening up the right side of the body, breathing into those intercostal muscles. Can you pin that right shoulder to the floor? Soft breathing in and out through the nose. Take one more breath here. We let it go. And then we'll release the hands, uncross the ankles, and we'll squeeze our knees into our chest. So just taking your hands on top of your knees, draw those knees a little closer to your chest. And then we'll wrap our arms around our legs and just gently rock side to side. Massaging the kidneys, we're opening up our back body. And then extending that left leg, holding onto the right knee, We're going to stir the pot this morning. So just finding nice twists with the knee, with that knee bent, awakening that hip joint, releasing that synovial fluid, which allows more flexibility in that hip joint, and we'll please change direction. Just 2 or 3 revolutions. Imagine you're just stirring a pot, your hand on top of the knee. Beautiful. When you finish that last revolution, draw that right knee across the body with the left hand. You come more on that left hip, and then you can fan that right arm open, maybe gaze over that right shoulder, or just keep your eyes soft or closed. Breathing into the lower back. And that right knee is reaching towards the floor, but no straining, just find that resistance. Back up a little bit. Allow the body to soften, to release, open, expand. Take one more breath here. Beautiful. Then we roll on our back body, extend the right leg, and just pause here for one breath. And we'll take the other side. So we bend the left knee, keep the left hand on the knee. And again, we're stirring that pot. So that left knee is bent. You can support that right hip with the right hand. And then we'll change direction. Again, opening up that hip joint, allowing that synovial fluid to flow around, allowing more mobility, movement in that hip joint. And when you finish that last revolution, beautiful. We'll just take the right hand on the left knee. You roll more on that right hip. Allow that knee to come a little closer to the floor, and that left hand can extend. And inviting you to keep the eyes soft, maybe closed. Breathing into that lower back. We unhinge our jaw. Take one more breath in. On an exhale, roll back on the back body. Both knees bend this time. Squeeze those knees into your chest. Wrap around for opposite elbows if that's available. Maybe you just hang on to your wrists. So whatever is available, squeeze those knees into your chest, awakening our digestion. Now we'll take our hands behind the backs of our knees. Beautiful. And rock our spine backwards and forwards. So 3 or 4 rocks. And we'll find a seated position. So you can cross your legs, maybe take one foot into half lotus or full lotus for some of you. So we're just give a little attention to our chin and neck this morning. So drawing your chin towards your chest. Just take our right ear towards our right shoulder. And we'll draw our chin back towards our chest. Left ear, left shoulder. And drawing your chin one more time back towards your chest. This time, raising your head. Let's open up our throat. And draw your head back to center. We'll take that right hand out to the sides. Lift it up and over to your left ear. And draw your right ear towards the shoulder. So let's give ourselves a little more grounding by finding the finger pads of our left hand. Again, unhinge that jaw. Allow that left shoulder to soften. Finding our breath in and out through the nose. Take one more inhalation here. We complete our exhalation. And gently release the hand to the floor. And we'll take the other side. So that left hand reaches up and over to the right ear. Draw the left ear towards the left shoulder. If you want to add a little more tension, maybe walk the right hand a little further. And 2 more breaths here. Just enjoying that full inhale. Exhale. We gently release that ear, and we'll take that left hand towards the right knee, right hand behind the body, and just twist, gentle twist from the lower abs. And we'll come back through home. Now our right hand on our left knee. Let's lift our chest and twist a little further over that left shoulder. Beautiful. One more inhale. Exhale. We'll come back to center. And then just cross your legs, and we'll find our way to our first downward dog. So eyes towards the back of the mat. We'll pedal out our feet. And shake out that head. Our fingers and toes are spread wide. Keep your hands where they are. We'll walk our feet 6 to 12 inches further. And I have a wider stance this morning. So the outer pinky toe and the edges of your heels, maybe find them towards the outer side of the mat. And we'll take our right hand to the left ankle, gaze under that left shoulder. So let go of any tension of the head or neck. Opening up the backs of the legs, warming up our hamstrings. And we'll release the right hand to the floor and cross the left hand towards the right ankle. Soften through the face, connect with that breath. Beautiful. Release that left hand. We'll walk our feet back into our downward dog. Pedal out the feet a little more. Shake out that head again. And we'll come onto the balls of our feet. Bend those knees. Hover them above the floor. Now engage that core. We begin to lengthen through the spine. Lift those sits bones. Now draw the heels closer to the mat. We'll take that 2 more times. So we find the balls of our feet. Engage the core, hover those knees. You find that deep hip crease, beautiful. Then begin to lengthen the spine, drop the head's in line with the ears are in line with the arms, and the heels draw to the floor. So one more time, we find those Barbie feet, hover those knees, shins are parallel to the floor. Then begin to lengthen, expand, sits bones towards the back of the space. The heels draw towards the floor. Beautiful. On the next breath, we find a high plank. Shoulders over wrist creases. Engage those thighs. Lift the back body. Navel in and up towards that spine. 5 counts to lower the mat. Always an option to take the feet to the floor. Drawing those elbows in. 5, 4, 3, nice. 2, on 1, all the way to the mat. Untuck the toes, and we'll find our Sphinx pose. So finding your forearms, elbows underneath your shoulders. Now feel all of your toenails as they connect with the floor, and we'll just gaze over the right shoulder. Can you find that right heel? It's an eye opener as well. And we come back to center, and then gaze over that opposite shoulder, the left shoulder. So navel again is engaged. You find a tall spine. We come back through center one more time. Gaze over that right shoulder. Maybe smile. And then we'll come back through center. Gaze over that left shoulder. Did you smile?
No.
Okay, great. And you'll come back to center. Go all the way to the floor. Fingers in line with your chest. We tuck our toes under. I love my husband. We press through high plank and downward dog. Exhale. Full breath in. That right leg extends. We bend the knee, stack the hips. So we're yawning that right knee open. Our chest is parallel to the floor. Lift that knee a little higher. And straighten that right leg, draw the knee to the nose, kiss that knee, and exhale, extend that right leg. 3 more times like that. We breathe that knee in, Round that back body, press the palms into the earth, then extend. Last two, we're breathing and exhaling, lengthening, pointing through the toe. One more big breath in. Exhale, extend. Step that leg into a low lunge. Untuck the toes and just begin to open up that left hip flexor. Collarbones are spread wide. On an inhalation, we reach the hands up towards the ceiling. And we'll take another side opener. So let's drop that right hand to the floor or the brick. That left hand comes up and over, and we're just fanning those ribs open. We're softening through the jaw. Now, are those right toes gripping? Spread them wide. Breathe through the space, through the spaces between the toes. So please inhale that right hand high. Now we'll lower the opposite hand. Those right ribs fan open. Again, you can always put that left hand on a brick. That right knee's tracking right over the ankle. Beautiful. One more breath in. Getting rid of that sleep in the body. Now that left hand reaches high. We lower the hands to the floor. Left toes tuck under. And just step back into downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out that head. Rooting through the hands and the feet. Now we lift the left leg high. Bend the knee, stack the hips, and flex that left foot. Notice if that left shoulder blossomed open, we want to move our chest parallel to the floor, and then yawn that left knee a little higher. That right heel is drawing to the floor. One more breath here. Can you lift that left knee one more centimeter? Then we extend that left leg, beautiful. And we draw the knee to the nose. Shoulders over the wrist creases, maybe kiss that knee. Then we lengthen, point through the toe. 3 more times like that. We breathe in and exhale, extend. Last 2, inhale. Exhale, we lengthen. Last time, beautiful, we breathe in. We extend and step the foot forward. Right knee on the floor, untuck the toes. Beautiful. So those left toes are reaching towards the back of your space. Open up that right hip flexor. Soften through the jaw. Beautiful. Inhale, we extend the arms up towards the sky. Then we'll release that left hand to the floor, maybe the brick, and fan those right ribs open. So that right hand comes over the head. Soften through those left toes. And we'll inhale that left hand up towards the sky and lower the opposite hand to the mat, towards the brick, towards a book. The left hand comes up and over. Breathing in and out through the nose. And we'll take that right hand up towards the sky, lower them to the floor outside the front foot, right toes tuck under, step back into our downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. First vinyasa this morning, we inhale to high plank. Exhale to low plank. We find our cobra, maybe our upward dog. Tops of the feet are rooted. The thighs are off the floor. We open up our collarbones. Roll over your toes, downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Our right leg lifts. Let's find our warrior 1. Left heel on the floor, inhale, come all the way up. Breathing here, tracking that right knee over the ankle. Maybe gazing up towards the sky. And let's just open up our shoulders here, rotating them around. So we'll inhale, we'll lift and expand. Inhale, reach lines of energy out through the fingers. We open up our chest. 2 more. You're engaging that core as you reach forward, open and expand. And 1 more big breath in. Fingers are spread wide.
We find our way back into warrior one. Nice. You're drawing those hands, reaching towards the sides of your ears, and we'll cycle through our vinyasa, hands to the mat, right leg back, high to low plank. Take your time. A cobra, maybe an upward dog. Extra push-ups are always a possibility. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Always a possibility. Left leg lifts. We step it into warrior one. Right heel on the floor and rise. So let's just adjust in this posture. Let's take our hands on our hips. We draw that left hip back, right hip forward. So our hip points are squaring right in front of your mat. Arms reach up towards the sky. Left knee over your left ankle. And again, we're going to open up our chest. And on an inhale, we reach forward. We lift, blossom open. We're breathing, inhale. Exhale as the arms swing around. One more full breath in. Enjoying that breath. Exhale. We find our way into that warrior one and our vinyasa. Hands to the mat. Left leg back. High to low. A cobra or upward dog. We meet in downward dog. Pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Let's take another full inhale. We exhale the air completely, bend the knees, step, maybe hop to the top of the mat. We find that halfway lift, fold forward, and rise. Sip in that breath, and we'll take our hands to heart center as we fold forward. Beautiful, take your time, you can always bend those knees. We find that halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back, high to low plank. A cobra or up dog. Beautiful, downward dog, exhale. Our right leg lifts. We find warrior one and rise. Now we'll take our hands behind our back, interlace the fingers, draw your hands away from your back body. Now lift your heart. We'll open up the palms and slide. It may be a very small movement, but we slide our hands down that back thigh. Open up your throat, soften the face. Then taking your hands off the thighs, we'll find our silver surfer. So the crown of the head reaches towards the inside of the front foot. We open up our shoulders by drawing them away from the back body. Now our hips want to blossom out to the side. We want to steer the hips towards the back of your mat. Soften through the toes. Let go of any holding in your head or neck. So shake out that head. That right knee's tracking over the right ankle. Draw those hands away from the back body. One more breath here. Our feet are rooted. We are slowly going to rise. So take your time. There's no rush. Beautiful. Let's release our hands. Take them all the way to the top. And we'll release our hands now to the floor. Beautiful, slow movements with our breath. High to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. And downward dog. Exhale, eyes towards the back of the mat. So our left leg lifts. We find warrior one. And rise. Find that rootedness, come all the way up. And we'll take our hands behind the back body. Opposite thumb on top if that's available. Hana just ran by. So we're going to open up our palms. And again, we'll slide down the back leg. So we're not creating nervous energy here. So it's a small, subtle movement. Soften through the jaw. Keep tracking that left knee over the left ankle. Then you can release your hands. We'll find silver surfer. So crown of the head and the inside of the front foot, also known as humble warrior. So we steer our hips towards the back of the mat. We draw our hands away from the back body. Where are you breathing in the body? Can you send it all the way to the belly? Let go of your head. Take one more breath here. Complete the exhalation. Now again, there's roots from the bottom of your feet holding you down. Now use your core. Come all the way back. Release the hands back through warrior one. Gorgeous. Vinyasa. Hands to the mat. Left leg back. Don't rush through your vinyasa. Move with your breath. High to low. A cobra or up dog. We meet in downward dog. We'll pause and breathe. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Soften through those knees. Draw your chest a little closer to your thighs. Then lift those sits bones, finding a deeper opening in those hamstrings. The heels draw to the floor. Let's take another full breath in here. We exhale the air completely. We bend the knees, step or hop to the top of the mat, halfway lift. We fold forward and we find our chair. Our hips are heavy, our heart is lifted. Lines of energy out through the fingertips. So where are your hands? Are they here? Can you lift them back towards your ears? We tuck our tail a little bit. Maybe lift our hands a little higher. And let's drop those hips a little deeper. So we'll lift all of our toes and spread them wide. Energetically squeeze those knees together. Now our toes to the mat. Let's lift those heels as high as you can. Breathe in here. 5. If you fall down, just come back. 4, 3, 2, on 1. Heels down. We take our hands to our heart center. Beautiful. As we fold forward. Crown of the head towards the floor. Shake out that head. We find that halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back. High to low. A cobra or up dog. Downward dog. Exhale. That right leg lifts. Finding crescent lunge. So that high lunge. Lines of energy out through the fingertips. Track that right knee over the ankle. You're on the ball of the back leg. We'll bring our hands to our heart center. Pushing off that back leg, finding a version of Veervadrasana 3. So we lift that left leg high. Engage that core. Now take your arms outside, taking flight. Breathe in here. Lifting that back leg a little higher. Now we'll take our hands back to our heart center. Slight bend in that right knee. I don't have a lot of space here, but we'll find our hands to the floor and just lift that left leg up towards the sky. So again, it doesn't have to go high, but we're finding the balance on that right foot. Again, shake out that head. We'll do Bill's favorite posture, Shiva squat. So that left knee tucks underneath the right. So you're curling up into that tight ball, then we expand, lift through those toes. Beautiful, 3 more like that. That knee, left knee behind the right, then we lengthen. Last 2, we curl up into that tight ball, then we extend. And last one, that knee comes right behind the right knee. Now you're gonna follow that left knee all the way to the floor. And that right foot is outside the left knee, or modify just by extending that left leg to the mat. So that I'll face you this way. So the right foot's outside the left knee, our sits bones are rooted. Right hand supports you behind your right hip. Beautiful. Extend the left hand, nice. Now we draw the elbow outside the knee and we spin over that right shoulder. Breathe in. And we twist. 2. We'll take one more inhale. Twist over that right shoulder. Now we'll come through home, find the counter twist. And back through center, Kasana. So that right knee on top of the left. Find your sits bones. This knee may be lifted. Again, it's just how open you are this morning. Sits bones are rooted, hanging onto the ankles, or if you want to explore a little deeper opening, walk your hands further. So you find your own personal edge, soften, allow those shoulders to glide down the back body, unhinge your jaw. So when we are opening up our hips and jaw, we store our emotions there. So relax the jaw, the root of the tongue. Enjoy the breath. We have 3 more breaths here. This wakes you up more than a cup of coffee. Wow. Let's take 1 more breath in. Exhale it out. And we'll uncross our legs and find our way back into downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out the head. Now we lift the left leg high. Step it into our crescent lunge. Our high lunge, we come all the way up. Beautiful. And bringing our hands to our heart center. We're going to pivot off that back leg into our Veerabhadrasana 3, warrior 3. So push off. Keeping your hands at your heart center. That right leg is lifted. And let's just flex our right foot so the toes are reaching towards the floor so we can square off our hips. Then if it's easier, you can point the right leg, point through the toes, and extend your arms, taking flight. So there's a slight bend in that left knee. And again, letting go how high you think that back leg should be. It's wherever you are this morning. Then inviting you to bring your hands back to your heart. We'll pitch forward, our fingertips towards the floor, and we just lift that right leg. So the crown of the head is reaching towards the floor. If you want to work on balancing here, maybe take that left hand behind the ankle and calf. Maybe lift that right leg a little higher. You're in charge of you. So we open up the body breath by breath, safely letting go where we think we need to be. You're exactly where you need to be. And finding support with all of your finger pads. We'll take that right knee behind the left knee. The left knee bends. Beautiful. So you round that back body like an angry cat. Then inhale. 3 more like that. Shiva squat. The right knee nestles right behind the left knee. Then we lengthen. Last 2. Beautiful. Extend. And this last one, right knee behind the left. Now just trace that right knee all the way to the floor. Again, I'll face you ladies. We find those sits bones. The right foot is out, the left foot is outside the right knee, or just extend that leg, find those sits bones. So just listening this morning, that left hand supports behind you. We reach the right hand high and taking that elbow outside the knee, fingers spread wide, twist over that left shoulder. Beautiful. We find an inhalation and we twist. Inhale and twist. 1 more breath here. And twist over that shoulder. And we'll come through home, twisting in the opposite direction. Beautiful. And back through center, Goom Kasana, cow facing pose. So the left knee comes on top of the right. Again, let go. This may be lifted high. It's where you are, where you should be. So we hang on to our ankles, soften through the jaw, and walk those hands forward. And maybe after a few breaths, working the forearms towards the floor, feeling that beautiful stretch on that left hip. 2 more breaths. Take another full inhale. We let it go. Mountain lion came by, and we'll uncross the legs, and find your way back into downward dog. And child's pose. So big toes touch, hips are heavy. Let's extend our arms forward, forehead to the floor, maybe a brick. And if you want to go a little deeper, maybe taking those elbows to the mat, soles of your palms together. You can melt your heart, bringing your chin towards the floor. Or again, one other posture, forehead to the mat and palms above your head, taking the fingers over the back of your head. Breathing here. 2 more breaths. We'll take another full inhale. Let it go. And release your hands. And we'll come on to our hands and knees. So working on a little core action this morning. Taking that left knee into the center of your mat. We extend that right leg, toes towards the floor. And we'll lift that heel, the height of your hips, and just begin to draw that knee in and push the foot and heel away. Inhale, squeeze. We extend on the exhale and finding that balance. Left hand lifts, left thumb up towards the sky. So squaring off those hips. Now let's take the elbow into the knee and we extend. We squeeze and lengthen. Connect and extend. Let's take one more here and lengthen. Now taking that right leg out to a 90-degree angle, maybe extend that left hand, engage that core. Beautiful, then we lengthen. Wow, and lower, and just move side to side. And we'll come to the other side. So taking that right knee, I take it more in the center for stability. Our fingers are spread wide, shoulders over those wrists. Please extend that left leg, toes to the floor. You want to level off those hips, root through the right shin. Now we lift that left heel, the height of our hips. Find that balance. Then just first activate, drawing that knee in and push the heel away. Beautiful. We're squeezing and lengthening. Another breath in. We extend. Now stay here. Let's elevate that right hand. Thumb is reaching up towards the sky. The arm is in line with that ear. An option to hug those elbow and knee in, and we extend. Let's move with our breath. We squeeze and lengthen. Inhale and exhale. Let's take 2 more. We breathe in and extend. And last one, elbow to knee. We lengthen, hold here. Option to take that left leg out 90 degrees and maybe that right hand. Find that balance. Beautiful. 3, 2, on 1. We lengthen and lower. And let's just find some regular cat-cows here. So let's exhale the air out. Drop the head, shake it out. Press the shins into the floor. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Beautiful. We exhale. Sip in the breath. Exhale. Let's take one more inhale. We let the air out. We come back to neutral, tuck those toes under, lift the sits bones, and walk your feet to the heel of your hands. Again, all face you lovelies, and we'll find our peace fingers around our big toes. Find that halfway lift, elbows out to the side, crown of the head towards the mat. So taking the weight into the balls of the feet, shake out that head. Find that breath. Slide, glide the shoulders down the back body. And Bill wants to move to the next posture, Padahastasana. So we take our toes towards our wrist creases. First, find that halfway lift. We lengthen through the spine, a deep bend in the elbows, crown of the head towards the floor. So step your feet onto your heels of your hands. Blossom open those sits bones. Engage those legs. Maybe lift your kneecaps. 2 more breaths. We take another full breath here. Exhale the air completely. We'll release our hands. Take a little wider stance with your feet into our Malasana. So hands inside those, elbows inside the knees, hands at heart center. You can find stability with your fingers to the floor. Your heels may not reach the ground. So just settle in here. Find that breath. 2 more breaths here. We take another inhale. Exhale the air out. We'll extend those legs, heel toe those feet together, and slowly unwind that spine. Take your time. And we'll reach our arms up overhead and bring your prayer to your heart center, Samastitahi. Pause, reconnect. Feel the groundedness of your feet as they root into the earth. So we track our knees over our ankles, our hips over our knees, shoulders over the waist. Our head is level. And we'll flutter our eyelids open and we'll find our dancer. It's been quite a while. So that right elbow outside the right hip, the left arm extends. We bend that right knee, reach for the inner arch of the foot and hug those knees in. So stay here for a breath or 2, find that balance. This is appropriate, a beautiful balanced posture, or we find our inner dancer. So start with the kicking action. The left hand is still lifted, the right toes are reaching up and towards the back of your space. Now that left hand is engaged, keep it in line with your fingers, that third eye. Breathing here, kicking and reaching. 2 more breaths. You're looking gorgeous, everyone. 1 more inhale. On an exhale, ride that breath up, and we'll find that tree position. So the right foot in the inner left thigh, hands come to your heart center. Again, you always have an option. You can find the ankle. We always avoid that knee area. Use a wall if your balance is a little compromised this morning. Find that breath. Again, where do you feel the breath in the body? Is it a shallow breathing? With our yoga practice, we're always working on equal inhalation and exhalation. And throughout our lifetime, we want to expand the length of that breath. So our conscious breathing keeps us in the present moment. It feels good too. So let's take 1 more inhale. Exhale it completely and just release that right leg. And before we go to the other side, let's just take some twists in our spine. A happy life is a happy spine. So we take care of that spine.
Happy life is a happy life.
That's true too. I don't know what's a happy husband. We'll have to think of a rhyme for that. Maybe not a nagging wife. And we'll come back to center and we'll find our dancer on the other side. So draw those ankles together, that left elbow outside the left hip, right hand reaches high, and we bend that left knee, reach for the inner arch of the foot and hug those knees together. So let's just stay here for the balance. Notice if you're already twisting, your hips and your chest are straight ahead Again, this is a wonderful balancing posture. It's a great quadricep stretch as well. Those right toes are fanned open. So start the kicking action with that back leg. Our heart is still lifted. And when you begin to find that resistance with the leg, now start reaching with that right hand. You can soften through that right knee. Maybe pause here after a few more breaths. Maybe explore a little deeper exploration. So we're taking our time. Where do you feel it in the body? We're breathing. Take one more full inhale. Exhale, we ride that breath up and we find our tree. So the left foot in the inner right thigh or towards your ankle. Hang on to the wall. Soles of our palms together. Swallow. And here, let's just whisper gratitude into our heart space. Enjoying our breath. Quieting the mind. Allowing ourselves to be less reactive in the world. Nice. Take one more breath here. Let it go. Release that left foot to the floor. Cycle through a vinyasa. Full breath in. We melt forward, Uttanasana. Find that halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back. High to low plank. A cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, exhale. We'll take those knees to the floor, cross your ankles. And let's just bend our knees and hug our arms around our legs. So forehead towards the knees. Breathe into that back body. And we'll lift our head and we're all set for Navasana. So finding our boat pose, we lift our legs, shins parallel to the floor. So just start here, supporting those legs so you can find that beautiful tall spine. We have a tendency when our abs are less engaged to take it in our back body. So engage those abs, stay supported. We take maybe one leg up or both legs up, reach the hands forward. So again, the legs do not have to be extended. We want that tall spine, our navel in and up towards our spine. Lift your heart, soften through the face, connect with that breath. Gorgeous. We cross our ankles, hands by our hips. We fake it till we make it. So we either lift the hips or use those feet to lift those hips. Navasana. Breathe to the belly. Again, stay supported. You're not cheating. You're actually honoring your body. So I believe less is more. And maybe you explore. So take your time. This is your practice. The beauty of a home practice is you don't have other students interfering with where you think you need to be. Again, you are where you need to be. Cross your ankles, hands by your hips. We lift or use those feet. Last one, Navasana. Breathe to that belly, Ujjayi breath, warrior breath, victorious breath. There's that slight audible sound. A little shaking with me this morning, playing my own personal edge. We cross our ankles, we lift and just extend those legs. Wow. So we move that extra flesh and we'll take tree position with our legs. So before we take a forward fold. So just like we did on the floor, tree position, right foot in the inner left thigh. Our sits bones are rooted. We can reach our hands up towards the ceiling. Now, imagine that belly button. You want to steer it towards the outer edge of that left leg. So you're lengthening over that left leg. Always an option to use a brick or a hand towel. Soften that left knee as much as you need to. Relax the jaw. Beautiful. 2 more breaths. We take another full inhale. We let it go. And inhale, come all the way up. Please extend the right leg. We'll shake it out and the other side. So the left foot and the inner right thigh. Sits bones are rooted. Extend the arms up overhead. Now steer your belly button towards the outer edge of that right thigh as you melt forward. So soften that right knee, hand towel. I have long limbs, so hanging onto your ankle or toes, we flex the right leg, lengthen over that leg. Find that breath. Take another inhale. We let it go. We lift our heart. Now take the right foot to the left foot to Veerabhadrasana. Soles of our feet together, and we'll find our butterfly. Our heart is lifted. Now pausing here, opening up the feet like a book. Maybe drawing those elbows towards your thighs. Again, you're reaching your heart forward. And then we round our back body. My forehead is reaching towards my toes. Swallow, breathe. And please lift your heart, inhale. And we'll extend our legs. Again, remove that extra flesh. Now our deep forward fold, a full inhalation. Soften to the knees as you fold forward. Imagine one day the crown of the head reaching towards the feet, touching the feet. We give our feet a little massage here. Again, thanking them for all that they do for us. We'll lift our hearts. We take our hands 6 to 12 inches behind. The fingers are facing towards our bottom. There's 2 options here. You can bend your knees and lift your hips, or the full extension of the posture is straight legs. Our heart is lifted, throat is open, toes reaching towards the ground for 3. Lift those hips higher, everyone. 2. And on 1, chin in towards your chest like you're hugging an apple. Sits bones down. And let's come onto our back body. We squeeze those knees into our chest. And we'll do Goon Kasana with our legs. We'll cross that right thigh over the left. We bump onto our onto our left hip as those knees come to the ground. A wonderful spine release. It can be a little intense for some of you, so the modification is just not wrapping that thigh and dropping your knees on one side. So your eye gaze is internal. Just trace that breath in and out through the nose. Lick your lips. Slow everything down. And then we'll roll onto our back bodies, uncross the legs, and we'll take the other side. So left thigh crosses up and over. We find the right hip, roll as we drop those knees. One side may be easier than the other. I just had an intense spine release. Where do you feel the breath in your body? Again, we're trying to avoid those shallow breaths. We want to equal our inhalation and exhalation. And throughout our lifetime, we're expanding that breath count. Beautiful. And we'll slowly roll back on our bodies, uncross those legs, Now extending those legs to the floor, take up a lot of space. That giant X. We'll squeeze our face, our hands for 5, squeeze your toes, 4, squeeze 3, squeeze 2, squeeze 1, and let everything go. Relax the body, let go of any breath control for a short Shavasana. Opening up your ears, find that next full incoming breath. Gently side out. One more full inhale. Gently side out, exhale. And reaching your fingers to the back of your space. Point through the toes, feel that beautiful stretch. And then we'll hug our knees in and find either side of the body curling up into that tight ball. Stay here for a breath or two as you slowly find your way to a comfortable seated position. Eyes soft or closed. We have a quote this morning from Martin Luther King Jr. Embracing both joys and sorrow, our hearts can remain tender and wise. We can walk through the darkest night with the radiant conviction that all things work together for the good. So inviting you to bring your hands to your heart center, thumbs towards your sternum, bow your forehead to the tips of your fingers. And we acknowledge this gift we gave ourselves this morning to open the mind, the heart, to connect with the breath, and to connect with community. And joining our voices to seal class with the vibration of Om. Full inhale. The light within me honors and recognizes the light within all of you. Thank you for a beautiful practice. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for the beautiful music.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, Becky.